What's going on, everybody? You're listening to the Glow Up Podcast. We are part of Soundcasting Network here in Seattle, Washington. I am Miss Casey Carter.
I'm Naomi Raven.
And we want to remind everybody to rate, review, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud. Follow us at the Glow Up Cast and make sure to check out full episodes on YouTube as well. We want to make sure to also remind all our hustlers, entrepreneurs, and brands out there to sign up for our Glow Gang Spotlight. This is where we want to give your business an extra little bit of light and feature you on our page. So just hit the link in our bio to sign up for that feature.
And we all love deals. So if you want to be a part of our Glow Gang and be open to some exclusive deals, please sign up for our email list. You can find that link in our bio on all of our social media platforms and be a part of the Glow Gang.
Yes, and get them discounts. Yes. I love a good deal. Yes. Okay, well, this week we're super excited because we're joined by entrepreneur Dawn Dickson, founder and CEO, PopCom, and so much more. I'm so excited. I just told her, I was like, I'm kind of fangirling out because it's really dope, all the things that she's been doing. So thank you for joining us, Dawn.
Thanks for having me, you both. I can't wait to talk to you.
Yes. Well, let's get into our weekly wins and lessons. I will actually kick things off.
Okay.
Because I had a great win. It's so funny how this year, 2020 has taught us to appreciate the little tiniest things in life. And I haven't seen two of my best friends in so long, or actually had to hug them or anything. And one of my best friends actually just moved to New York. I'm so proud of her. She's an actress, so she's going to do her thing out there, and I'm really hyped for her. But I was able to hang with them before she left. And that is just, it recharged my soul. Like, I felt like I was 16 again. We were laughing in tears. We were doing all the clumsy things. We made TikTok video. Well, we made one TikTok video because we're tired now after doing one video. But it was just, my gosh, that it meant so much to me. So that was my win for the week. Naomi, what's your win or lesson?
My lesson this week is when life throws unexpected things at you, to just take it one day at a time, because you are going to stress yourself out trying to figure out everything all at once. So take a deep breath, take it in, let it out, and then move and control what you can control one step at a time. That was my lesson this week.
I love it. I love it. Dawn, do you have any weekly wins or lessons you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I have a win this week. Our PopCom team, we launched our PopCom local program that turns unused space in hotels and airports into retail space with our pop shops for local retailers. So I was really excited. The team did this whole program on their own, and I was really excited that they're now empowering local entrepreneurs in 11 cities to roll out their products in hotels. So that's a win for a lot of us, not just me. A lot of people are going to win from that.
Congratulations to you and your team. I love it. Well, let's get into a vibe check. Is there anything that you are currently vibing with at the moment?
Me, I'm vibing with Megan Thee Stallion's Southside Forever remix, okay? That's my whole mood for 2021, basically. So that's what I was watching before I got on here today, the video on YouTube. So yeah, that's a vibe.
Okay, quick little segue. Megan and Party, what's going on with that? They're so, like, she's in like a full-blown relationship now. I love it.
They little comments they made, but they should keep it private because, as you know, when things come out and the public gets in your business, it just destroys the relationship. So I'm rooting for her because she's been through a lot. She's very relatable to a lot of people, even me, and we're, definitely a big age gap, but just as a young woman, just grinding, so she definitely needs to, we need to protect Meg, at all costs out here. So
Naomi, what's your vibe check this week?
So I've been reading, and I started a new book called You're a Badass by Jen Sincero. I hope that's how you say her last name. And it is so powerful. I love it mostly because as I'm reading it, I feel like my girlfriend is talking to me. And so it's a really easy read. And then it's just super encouraging. So if you need something to uplift your spirits and you want to feel like your friend is talking to you, it is a bomb book.
Those are my favorite books when you read and you feel like they're actually like talking to you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm definitely going to have to pick that one up. I've seen that book.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay. Gosh, I'm like every week. I wish I had something that I wasn't watching to recommend, but I hopped on the WandaVision finally and I am just blown away. What an incredible job Marvel is doing with that story. And I just found out we only have 2 more episodes left. But if you were looking for something new to check out, and, I don't think you have to be a super Marvel fan to check it out. But they're doing an incredible job with this. So definitely check it out. It's very unique and different. And they do a great job at pulling the Marvel universe into it. Just they know what they're doing over there. So definitely check that one out. Well, we're going to chat with Dawn, but first let's get into this quick break and we'll be right back. Bam. And we're back from our break. Okay. All right, Dawn, thank you again so much for joining us. We're so excited to get to know you first. We'd just love to know, tell us about your background before the business stuff started. Who was Dawn? What did you want to be when you were growing up?
Well, I've been an entrepreneur 20 years, but before my first business in 2001, I actually wanted to be an MTV VJ. I wanted to be in broadcast journalism. So my first degree is actually in broadcast journalism and marketing. So, with a marketing minor. But I thought I was going to be, like Lala. And then once I started looking for jobs when I was in college and seeing how, the news stations, they start you out back then at about $18,000 a year, $20,000 a year. That did not align with my life goals. I couldn't afford a BMW at $18,000 to $20,000 a year. So I said, that's not going to work. And then I went to school for tech. So I went to school for tech in 2000, and that's when I got into tech. And here I am now. Fast forward 20 years later, and still, it aligned with my goals as far as the type of lifestyle that I wanted to have. And that's what I always thought about, what's my passion that could give me the lifestyle that I want?
Yeah, I think so many people get so hung up on okay, this is what I want to do. This is exactly, and you went to school for it. And then they get to the point where it doesn't align with their lives. And sometimes people don't know how to pivot and choose what they need versus kind of what they want. I feel like sadly, a lot of rappers do that. They choose what they want versus what they need. And some just don't need to rap, but okay. I love it.
So when you did make that pivot and you knew that you were going to go on kind of like an entrepreneurial journey, did you ever see your success really blowing up as big as it did?
I did. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but that's what I wanted. And so I seen it, and because I believe in visualization and manifestation. And so even as a young person, I knew I had to see myself big. Of course, no, I didn't know exactly. I mean, one of my goals was just to be in Forbes magazine, and that happened this week. So it just I didn't know when it was going to happen. It could have been 10 years ago. It could have been 10 years later from now. But it's always visualizing myself, being a very successful entrepreneur and being in certain publications that I want to be in and certain visibility. And it was just, that's what kept me going, was that vision. So I believe that it's important to have a vision, to see the goal you're trying to have, and just trust the process, and knowing that it's not going to always happen like you think it will happen, or maybe even like you want it to happen.
Yeah. I love that perspective. Now, you saw a problem and you wanted to solve it. We were talking about earlier how, I wish I had this vending machine back in the day where we were walking to the club and we were leaving the club, and some of my homegirls would be carrying their heels, walking barefoot to the car. And it's just or just Vegas, perfect place. You leave the hotel, you cute, and then you're all right, this strip is long. My feet hurt. I need this. But, everyone, when they're trying to think of a business, a lot of times people are mimicking things. Right. But now I feel like people are following suit. There's a lot of people who are waking up. Let's talk about what is happening right now in the world of entrepreneurs and how people are actually flipping that mindset, seeing problems that need to be solved, and creating there's an abundance of things being created right now.
Yeah, you're right. And, that's a combination of just because there's never been a shortage of ideas, but it's a combination of greater access to help build out those ideas and greater access to capital to actually develop those ideas for people that look like us, for women, for people of color, and for just anyone but white men. Now it's a better landscape for us. But, when it goes back to problem solving, I think every very good business stems from a pain point that the founder had. If you sit around and look at everybody else making money like, oh, wow, they're making money flipping real estate. I can flip real estate. That's, or they're making money doing, you have to do something that resonates with you that you understand. And so all the businesses that I started came from a direct pain point I experienced. And I've started 7 companies as of now. And it all was like a pain point. I'm like, I want this. I can't find anyone else that's doing exactly what I want. Let me see if anyone else has this pain point. If they do, I'll turn it into a business.
Please run that resume down.
Oh, that's funny. Star 2001, D1 Consulting 2005, that's still in business. Flat Out of Heels 2011, that's still in business. PopCom 2014, obviously that's still in business. Lifestyle Cafe, I sold my stake in that last year. It's a restaurant, it's still in business. Crowd Coach, started that last year. It's in business, ramping up. And then Outliers, which is something that my husband and I started. Our ebook is actually dropping next month, and that's a new business as well.
Congratulations on everything. Now, last year was a big hit. How have you guys been able to hold up during all that time?
I mean, all of the businesses really, they aligned with needs that weren't affected by COVID. I mean, obviously people have to still eat. PopCom, we're an automated retail company. So, we serve the market of retailers that are self-serving, and that grew because people wanted contactless, humanless transactions. And so our business actually grew because more people did not want to be around people, and they wanted to get products without touching, people. So that was really helpful. D1 Consulting, so we had a big year last year because I used that to do my speaking and coaching business. And previously I did, of course, live in-person events. And it was just a lot more time consuming and expensive to travel. But with COVID, I took my business virtual, and I made a lot more money doing virtual conferences and then doing virtual coaching. So again, people are at home. They want to learn new skills. They're realizing their 9 to 5 may not give them all they need. They want to supplement. So D1 Consulting really took off. And then the other business that I'm working on, we do high-end conversion vans under the Outliers business with my husband. So this is the van life. People are moving into different types of living and getting around. So we're launching that. And then my ebook is about finding love online. I met my husband on Instagram in the DM. We got married. So everybody else asked me that, so everybody's online. You're not going to the club. You're not out happy hour meeting people. You got to meet people online these days. It's kind of like you're forced to with COVID. So I'm putting that out there. So again, everything is just aligned, and I'm really grateful. I like to just say, it was God's plan. I feel like everything was divinely guided and aligned because, the year when a lot of people were suffering, which I definitely have a lot of empathy for them, my path was different. And it was a time to really grow upon things I've been working on for 20 years. It just happened that 2020 was the year.
We need that, how it started, how it's going.
It's happening. Yeah. I did post it back then. That's what really people to be like, oh my gosh. How'd you do it? Because I did a tweet and said, started in the DM, now we're here. And it went viral on Twitter. It was like maybe 15,000, hearts on it, and people kept retweeting it. And I said, okay, well, people are interested in love and how especially someone like myself that's a professional, and how did I find a husband on Instagram? I mean, I wasn't looking, but it was nice. He just fell in there. Made it easy.
I love it.
So I want you to take us back to the day that PopCom was ready to be launched. How were you feeling, and what was your friends and family's reaction to it? Like, how did they feel as well?
That's interesting because PopCom it took so long to launch. So there was so many false launches. So in the beginning, like I said, it's been since 2014, and PopCom, which used to be called Solutions Vending International, and that company put out Flat Out of Hill's first vending machines. So I experienced my first launch with the Flat Out, and that was exciting. Our first location was at Atlanta Airport, which was huge. I mean, how many small businesses have their first location in the #1 airport in the world? Then my second location was Club Live, like the hottest, one of the top 5 nightclubs in the country, you know? And so again, that was just an amazing opportunity. So people were excited. They finally, you know, gave me credit, like, okay, this is working out, because initially we were just selling our shoes online while the vending machines were getting developed. But then, you know, I started having a lot of problems with those first vending machines. They wouldn't stay connected because of the Wi-Fi at the time in the mid 2000s. It wasn't stable like it is today. I mean, so it wasn't able to stay connected, and my machines were always out of service, which that's what led me to shifting my focus from Flat Out of Heels as a CEO of Flat Out, stepping down as a CEO, and then really focusing on PopCom to build technology that would allow my Flat Out business to thrive, to make the vending machine smarter, more connected, and, you know, not relying upon someone else's network. So that led me on a whole path of tech. So my family's reaction was excited at first, but then it's like they seen me publicly fail. Like, you know, it didn't work out. And so now it relaunches in November 2020. And then we launched another press release yesterday. So the momentum's picking back up again, where people are excited, because honestly, they thought that I was going to fail and that was it. You know, it's like, okay, it didn't work out. So it was a bumpy road.
Yeah. Your network must be incredible for you how did you get into those spaces?
Network. Yeah, you're right. I mean, a blessing, literally, which getting in Atlanta Airport is very hard. I mean, I did not realize that until I started the process. But a woman an older woman, she supported me. She said, hey, would you be interested in being in Atlanta Airport? My friend's he owns the concessions contract for the airport since like a long time ago, Maynard Jackson days, like a long time ago. And so she walked me in. And then someone else that I know, they're like, yeah, I know Dave Gretman over at Live. And I just got a meeting with Dave directly, sat in his office, 10 minutes. He was like, yeah, you can do it. And incredible. I was like, oh, okay, cool. It was easier than I thought. So it really does come down to your network, which, again, it was my network that allowed me to raise this money from the crowd, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But the importance of just always being a person of integrity, being a person of your word, not being shady, because you never know when you're going to need a person. It could be 20 years down from now, and they could be the person that can write your check, you know? Mm-hmm. So that story of just being a good person, I think my life has demonstrated what that can do for you long term.
Boom, right there. There you go. Now, I mean, I'm sure you're always like busy, you're moving around, you're helping people, you have employees, like you are in charge of feeding people. Now, who helps you? How do you take time for yourself, since you're running you're doing a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I do have teams, of course, you know, so I have full teams on all of these things. It's not just me. And I have an assistant that works with all of my businesses. I have a CPA that works with all of my businesses. I have a tax attorney and a couple other attorneys that make sure that all my businesses are, you know, managed right, reporting financially right. And then for me, I over the years, I've set up a system where self-care is like number one. I'm the number one priority. And so even the way I set up my day, I don't take meetings before 11 a.m. So the mornings are my time, whether I want to go work out or just have time to do whatever I need to do. And I take vacations once a month, even if it's a small staycation. I just make sure that I get at least 3 days of vacation a month where I'm not working. I'm just doing something that I love to do. And I just definitely make sure that I make time for myself and my husband and family. And there's never a balance where it's equal. It's just learning how to prioritize what's important and what takes precedence for that day, for that hour, and making time there.
That was good. So we kind of touched on this a little bit. There's an unlimited amount of ideas out there. We're all kind of in that, like, I want my own hustle. I want to be a big success.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to a beginning entrepreneur to stand out in that environment?
That's a really good question. I think the way you stand out is establishing yourself as an expert and a thought leader in your space and showing you really understand your industry, your product, and your customer, that they identifying with them. A lot of people are, let's say, selling hair, but like Do you understand the hair, the textures, where you source it from, the quality, what makes yours better? Are you passionate about it? Can people tell you're passionate? And when that comes through, as you see, women or people are so successful doing the same thing in a highly competitive business. There's so many people doing well where they have so many competitors, and that's because they're able to be confident and clearly convey what makes them unique. And so it's always important to never worry about what someone else is doing and just stay focused. But you do have to understand who your market is and what makes your product, or even you, what makes you the best person and what makes you special, and be able to communicate that.
Yes. We can't hear you.
Oh, you're on mute.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So you just talked about like being you. And I think that's just so important. I think that when I watched you, I was just so impressed by you just owning who you are. And I think a lot of times when we step into spaces with people who don't look like us, we try to switch our person, or we try to fit what we think. Yeah, exactly. Now, what's your advice on sticking to yourself? Like, how are you confident? And I always feel like if you're who you are, that's what's going to attract everything to you. That's going to attract genuineness.
You're right. And as a young person, I did, code switch. Like I started out my career, my first in tech and corporate. And that's why I quit after 8 months, started my own business. It didn't align with who I was. And what I realized over time is that me being authentically myself with my flaws, with my differences, it's what people are attracted to because they can relate. So always just maintaining like who I am and putting who I am first. Now, when walking into rooms where I'm the only person that looks like me, I always saw it as an advantage because at least I'm going to stand out. If I walk in the room, I'm the only Black person, a Black woman, or they're going to say, wow, who's this woman, Black person, whatever. And it's up to me to show them, But if you're in a room with everybody looks like you, it's a lot harder to get that attention. And I use it to my advantage, and I use it to be a good representation of people like me who don't get a chance to be in those rooms, with the hopes that they had a good experience with me, and now next time they're going to invite more people or be open to more people that look like me.
I love that. And I think representation is so much more important because seeing a woman like you doing what you're doing and accomplishing everything, I'm like, if she can do it, we can do it. Like,
absolutely.
Love it.
That's what I really want people to understand, is I did not have any specific advantage over anyone else as far as what would be the typical advantage, financial or education wise, geographic wise. No, it just was that I believed in myself and I did not quit when many times I could have, or some people argue with that, I should have, but I just didn't.
Was there a moment where you were like, all right, I'm done. This is too much?
There was probably 10 minutes where I said I'm done.
I know that's right.
It was like this moments, but not a time where I really could. I thought about selling the business. Actually, the beginning of last year, we had an offer for acquisition. And I said, well, I can just walk away with some millions right now. And, that would be easy to do. That would be great. But then I said, what's the bigger vision? It's not just to make myself a millionaire, have a couple million, but it's to really build wealth and legacy that can translate into changing my family and my community. And this is not time to quit yet.
Now that you are like an inspiration, you're like a pioneer. You started this, you're like, I'm doing this and I'm doing this for my community. And this is the bigger picture. Do you see more people following?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yes, that's the answer.
Yeah.
So a big part about standing out, I think, does come with having money or putting other people's money, them looking at you and you being worth their money.
Yeah.
What are 3 tips that you could give us in asking for help financially?
Yeah, definitely being transparent about why you need the money, understanding fully how you're going to return the money, and being very clear with what you're going to do with the money and the timeline and the milestones, what you're going to do with it and how that's going to produce some results that are then going to get them their money back. That's really all you need to be able to tell them.
Look at that. That was so simple and easy. And I feel like I could follow that formula. And I feel a little more confident now in putting together a plan. Yes.
People will give you money if they know what you're going to do with it, when you're going to give it back, how long you need it, and what they're going to get back.
Where does this drive come from, Dawn?
It's just in me. I think it's just how I've been my whole life. And even as a little kid, and My mom said I don't take no for an answer. And the things that really annoyed my parents are actually what is helping me in my career as an adult and in my life. And so I was always like the outcast and the black sheep. So it's just in me. It's who I am, and it ended up working out later. So people who feel like they're outcast, no one understands them, they don't really have a place. You do. It's just up to you listening to your inner voice and yourself and letting yourself guide you to where your place is and where your tribe is. The mistake is we listen to other people about who we should be, what we should be doing, what we should study, where we should work, what we should believe in, and we lose ourselves, and then we feel lost. If you listen to yourself, you'll be guided to what's right for you.
Oh, all right. That was church today. I love that. Now you talked about you dropped you're doing so much, and you dropped little things here. What's next? What's coming up next?
I'm excited about our PopCom Pop Shop Local program because I'm so passionate about other entrepreneurs like myself. Like I said, I've been an entrepreneur 20 years, and most businesses don't last after they fail after the first year, and then 5 years is rare to make it. And, I made it to 15 for one of my businesses, 10 for the other, and we're still going with the others. So I really want to empower entrepreneurs to be able to grow their businesses and get new opportunities. So the Pop Shop Local program is going to do that, and we have so many just people of color and women that are going to be on a national, international stage that I can use my platform to bring them up. And that makes me really happy.
That's exciting. I can't wait to read your book. I'm excited for the book on love, but also just like reading your story.
I'm working on it now. I'm working on it. I have the first layout done, so it's in the works.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, if people want to find out more information about you and all the things you're working on, where can they go?
Definitely, follow me on social channels. I'm really active on pretty much all of them under Dawn Dickson. My name's Dawn Dickson Apogany. I'm recently married, but it's still under Dawn Dickson. And then my company, PopCom, is actually raising our third round of crowdfunding. We've raised over $4 million to date, and now we're raising $5 million. And you can invest as little as $250 is the minimum at startengine.com/PopCom. And it's a technology company, so I'm really excited about that. We have over 5,000 investors right now.
Get a piece of it, guys. Be a part of something incredible. Dawn, what an amazing chat. You are so inspiring. Thank you so much for all you do for women like us. An icon. I gotta say it. An icon. Thank you so much. Well, everybody, make sure to rate, review, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud. Follow us at the Globecast. Hit the link in our bios to get all the juice that you need in there. And then hit up my link in bio to get my template so I can help you be professional in what you're doing. And that's at Miss Casey Carter. Thank you again, Dawn.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Thanks.